it's hard to believe that Angie Stone is gone. You know, her passing on March 1st, 2025 was a shock to all of us.
It really was.
A true loss for soul and R&B music, but her music is still so powerful.
Absolutely.
And it continues to touch so many lives, you know, even in her absence.
For sure.
We've got an excerpt here titled Angie Stone, the songstress who sang the soul of the South.
Okay.
And I was thinking it'd be really fascinating to kind of dig into this a bit and explore what made her music so enduring.
I think that's a great idea.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think her connection to her Southern roots plays a huge role in that the excerpt really captures that feeling of Columbia, South Carolina, where she grew up.
Yeah.
It paints a picture of a home filled with the sounds of gospel records, her mother singing spirituals.
Wow.
It's like music wasn't just something they listened to, it was part of their lives, you know?
It's almost like you can hear those influences, those echoes of gospel and spirituals in her later music.
Oh, absolutely. Those early experiences shaped her musical sensibilities from the very beginning. You can feel that depth, that soulful quality in everything she sings.
Right.
Even at 5 years old, she was already finding her voice humming melodies on her grandmother's porch.
It's a beautiful image.
Yeah, isn't it?
And such a strong foundation in gospel and soul really gave her music that emotional depth.
Yeah.
But her journey wasn't, you know, just a straight line from gospel to R&B.
No, it wasn't.
There's a little detour there into the world of hip-hop.
Oh, yeah, that's right. In 1979, she joined The Sequence. They were one of the first all-female rap groups.
That's right.
And their hit song, Funk You Up, that came out that same year, it was huge, you know.
That was a game changer for sure.
It really was. It challenged the male-dominated world of hip-hop and paved the way for other women in the genre.
Yeah, and you can't talk about Angie Stone without acknowledging that part of her story.
Definitely not.
You know, it shows her willingness to kind of push boundaries and experiment with different sounds. But even with all that success in hip-hop, the excerpt suggests she always felt drawn to a different type of musical expression.
That's right. There was always this yearning for a deeper, more soulful sound. The excerpt puts it this way. Her soul yearned for the melodies of her childhood, you know?
Oh, wow.
It's like she needed to go back to her roots to really find her voice.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to her solo career, which wasn't an easy path.
No, it wasn't.
What were some of those challenges she faced?
Well, breaking into the music industry as a solo artist is never easy, especially for someone like Angie who was really trying to create something unique, you know?
Yeah.
She wasn't just following trends, she was blending soul, R&B, even hints of her hip-hop background into something fresh and authentic.
It's true.
And the industry wasn't always receptive to that kind of innovation.
It sounds like she really had to fight for her vision, for the right to express her music in her own way.
Yeah, she did. And, you know, that struggle seems to be a recurring theme in her story.
I see that.
And it's reflected in the title of her debut solo album, Black Diamond, came out in 1999. A powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
Black Diamond's rare, resilient, formed under intense pressure. It's like a statement of self-belief, you know, a declaration of her strength and determination.
It definitely speaks to her resilience.
Yeah.
And that resilience shines through in her music as well.
Oh, yeah.
The excerpt mentions some of her most iconic songs. No More Rain, Brotha. Wish I Didn't Miss You.
Classics.
Yeah, these weren't just catchy tunes. They were raw, emotionally charged stories
Yeah.
that resonated with people on a deeply personal level.
Absolutely. And you know what I find so fascinating about those songs?
With that?
They really capture the experiences of so many, particularly Black women. She sang about the struggles of single motherhood, the pain of heartbreak, the longing for love and connection, all of these universal emotions, but she did it in a way that felt so real, so relatable.
And there's a vulnerability in her music
Oh, for sure.
that I think drew people in. She wasn't afraid to sing about the difficult things, the messy parts of life.
Exactly. And by doing that, she created a space for listeners to feel seen and heard. Her music wasn't just about entertainment. You know, it was about connection, about shared experiences, about finding strength and vulnerability.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how her music resonated so strongly with Black women in particular.
Yeah.
What was it about her music that spoke so directly to that experience?
Well, she was just so incredibly honest and open in her songwriting, you know?
Right.
She didn't shy away from the challenges and complexities of life as a Black woman, like dealing with societal pressures, navigating relationships, or even just finding your own voice
It's true.
in a world that often tries to silence you.
Yeah, it's like she gave a voice to experiences that were often overlooked or misunderstood.
Exactly. And she did it with such raw emotion and vulnerability.
Hmm.
Take a song like Brotha, for example. Such a powerful exploration of Black masculinity and the expectations placed on Black men.
And then there's Wish I Didn't Miss You. Such a heartbreaking ballad
Oh, yeah.
about longing and regret. So relatable, so universally human.
It is.
But it also speaks to that specific pain of losing someone you love.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff.
It is. And what's fascinating to me is how she manages to blend those personal stories with these broader societal themes.
Right.
Her songs are intimate and personal, but they also reflect the collective struggles and triumphs of a community.
It's that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
The personal and the universal coming together.
It just pulls you right in.
It really does. And it's not just the lyrics either.
Right.
Her music is so technically brilliant,
Oh, yeah.
The way she uses her voice, her phrasing, the subtle inflections, it's all so masterful.
Yeah.
She had this incredible range from those deep, soulful lows to those soaring, almost gospel-infused highs.
And the instrumentation is so rich and layered.
Ah.
Blending those classic soul elements with these more modern touches, you can hear influences of funk jazz, even a little bit of hip-hop in there.
Absolutely. It's such a unique blend.
It really is.
And, she never lost sight of that grounding in soul and gospel.
Yeah.
But she wasn't afraid to experiment and kind of push the boundaries of the genre.
It's true.
That's what makes her music so timeless, so enduring. It's rooted in tradition, but it also feels fresh and relevant even today.
And I think that really speaks to her artistry.
Yeah.
Her ability to create music that transcends time and trends.
Yeah.
It's the kind of music that you can come back to again and again, and it always speaks to you in a new way.
It really does. It's interesting to think about how her music continues to resonate with listeners even after her passing.
Yeah.
The excerpt describes it so beautifully, her voice lingering in the hum of a mother rocking her baby to sleep.
Wow.
In the crackle of old records played on Sunday afternoons, in the hearts of every woman who dared to believe her story was worth singing.
That's such a powerful image. It speaks to the legacy she leaves behind, the way her music continues to touch lives and inspire new generations.
It really does.
Like a ripple effect, spreading outward from her voice, her story, her spirit.
I love that. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about music.
Yeah.
It has this power to connect us across time and distance, to create this sense of shared experience and understanding.
That's true.
And even though Angie Stone is no longer with us, her music continues to do that, to bring people together, to offer comfort and inspiration.
It's a reminder that even in loss, there's a kind of immortality in the art. We create the stories. We tell the connections we forge with others.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really powerful takeaway from this deep dive.
It is. So as we reflect on Angie Stone's life and legacy, what does her music mean to you personally? What song or album resonates with you the most? It's different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a certain song, got you through a breakup, or there's an album that just always puts you in a good mood. It's amazing how music connects with our own lives.
It really is.
What about you? Is there a particular Angie Stone song or album that speaks to you?
It's funny you should ask that, because I think my favorite changes, depending on where I am in life, what I'm going through.
Right.
But there is one song that always stands out, and that's Every Day.
Every Day. Oh, that's a great one.
There's just something about the energy of that song, the way it celebrates the simple joys of life, those everyday moments we often take for granted.
Yeah.
It reminds me to appreciate the little things, to find beauty in the ordinary, and her voice in that song, just pure joy.
I love that. And I think that sense of joy, that appreciation for life really comes through in all of her music.
It does.
Even when she's singing about heartbreak or struggle,
Yeah.
there's always this underlying sense of hope and resilience.
Exactly. It's not just about the pain or the struggle. It's
Yeah.
about the journey, the
Yeah.
growth, the triumph of the human spirit.
And the way she blends those soulful vocals with those infectious grooves, it's impossible not to move to her music.
I know, you gotta move.
It's music that makes you feel good even when it's making you think.
Yeah. It really is music that nourishes the soul, don't you think?
Absolutely. And I think that's a beautiful way to sum up Angie Stone's legacy.
Yeah.
She gave us music that feeds the soul, music that connects us, music that reminds us of the beauty and resilience of the human spirit.
And even though she's gone, her music will continue to do that for generations to come.
I think you're right, Well. That about wraps up our deep dive into the life and legacy of Angie Stone. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration of her music and the impact she had on the world.
It's been a pleasure.
And we encourage you to keep exploring Angie Stone's music. Discover your own personal favorites and let her soulful voice, fill your days with joy, strength, and inspiration. Thanks for listening.